What's next for Gaza after the ongoing war? Today we dive into Israel's strategy for Palestine's future amid rising calls from the far right for Israeli resettlement in Gaza. What are the political implications, international reactions and humanitarian challenges? Join us as we explore the future of Gaza in this complex and urgent landscape. I'm Karim Hatem. Welcome to Think Tank. There is a provocative and troubling development unfolding in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. A growing number of Israeli right-wingers are calling for the resettlement of Gaza, a move that threatens to deepen the humanitarian crisis faced by its residents. With voices demanding a return to a land once vacated, we examine the implications of these demands and what they mean for the already suffering Palestinian population.
In a recent gathering near the Gaza border, hundreds of Israeli right-wing activists convened, calling for the re-establishment of settlements in Gaza. The Likud party organized the Preparing to Resettle Gaza conference. Minister Bezalel Smotrich and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Smotrich claimed that Gaza is part of the land of Israel. He claimed that without settlement, security would remain elusive. He called for the revitalization of Jewish prisons in Gaza. As essential for Israel's long-term safety. The gathering came in the wake of Israel's ongoing hostilities, which have led to significant civilian casualties in Gaza. While proponents of resettlement argued that it would ensure security for Israel, critics warn that such plans threaten to exacerbate the humanitarian crisis faced by Gaza's 2.4 million residents who are enduring unimaginable suffering. The rhetoric of returning to Gaza, which may perceive as a move to displace Palestinians, raises urgent ethical concerns amidst the backdrop of violence and despair. As the Israeli government grapples with its next steps, the plight of Gaza civilians remains a haunting reminder of the consequences of prolonged conflict.
Providing more analysis on the current updates about the latest developments on the ongoing war in Gaza, from Khalid Nassif, a political analyst specialized in management and strategic planning, and Jamal Zakud, the director of the Earth Center for Research and Studies. Welcome to the program. Now, Mr. Nassif, what are the current political trends within the Israeli government regarding the Gaza conflict?
Good evening for you, Karim, and for all your observers. Actually, the main strategic thing is to attacking Tehran. That's the Israeli main point. But what happened now in Gaza, in southern Gaza, is a general plan plus, which is mean the original general plan. It was to evacuate southern Gaza and to leave it without any of its population, and to make it as a center point for negotiation with the resistance. But now the Israeli government and Netanyahu and its alliance in the government, they are planning to reoccupy southern Gaza, and not only building a settlement and Israeli settlements, but also a building and military post, which is mean that will be a long-term occupation for this side of Gaza, to be as a pilot of controlling all of Gaza, if that succeeds for them, to control all of Gaza in the same way, which is a genocide, which is eliminate all the Palestinians who are living there, which is settle the civilians of Gaza, the people of Gaza, maybe outside of Gaza, like Egypt or anywhere else. But that means it's a kind of pilot plan to see how they are succeed in that. In the reality, they are until now unsucceeded because of two things. The first one of them is the population of that part of Gaza. They are not willing to move from there and not willing to replacement their places. If they push to move from their houses, they settle nearby their neighborhood until the military flee out and they return back, which is it's not the plan of the Israelis or of the Israeli government, Israeli army. And the second thing is not succeeded because the international observers, they now recognize that there is a genocide happening there, and there is an ethnic cleansing plan happening there, which with all its part and its element, recorded by TV, recording by the media, recording by the social media and everything. And because of that, they are also not succeeded. That's mean the Israeli not afraid of the international community, not afraid of any kind of punishment, but they are afraid of the population of the world. They are afraid of the movement that happened, even in Europe, in America, and in the students, American students, universities, and other things. And that's, I think, the plan is that a clear ethnic cleansing, clear genocide, starting from the south of Gaza, and if they succeeded, they will extend it to the all of Gaza.
Let's go to Mr. Zarqout. Now, obviously, there are many challenges that civilians in Gaza are facing at the moment. Now, in light of the first question that I asked Mr. Nassif and his answer, what challenges could be added in the coming days and in the coming weeks if the rhetoric of the far right in Israel was actually implemented?
Okay, I would prefer to speak in English now because really I didn't hear anything from your guest because he's speaking in very loud voice, and okay, I will respond in English. See, what's going on in the Gaza Strip is that Netanyahu himself, as well his government, want to continue the war and to displace all the Palestinian people. What's going on the north of Gaza Strip, it's a declared, I cannot find another word except the Holocaust, that it is, they are bombing the houses, killing the civilians and displaced women and children, shooting directly the men and young people. And those who were asked to go of what's called safe passage to the south, some of them were shooted also. So the situation in Gaza is not only complicated as or there is a kind of threats or dangerous. It is a totally completion of what the Netanyahu government started. And the problem that no one's speaking now in these days, maybe because of the war in the north with in the Lebanese front, or because of the tension and the possible response of Israel to Iran, so Gaza is seen as a small part of this big picture or scheme. This is what exactly Netanyahu decided to do. He he opened the northern front and trying to dismantle, as he declared, Hezbollah. But I think that the main project for him is to mislead the world about what's happened and what's going on in the Gaza Strip. This is as a result of the polarization of the international public opinion in all the world, that calling what's going on in Gaza is a genocide. So he decided to complete the bloody genocide in Gaza, starting from the north of the Gaza Strip, and cover it by the war in the north, because he was sure that the empathy with Hezbollah will not make the same polarization as what's going on in the Gaza Strip among the last year. So we should not lose the focus on what's going in the Gaza Strip and what's happening. It should raise the awareness of all Arab countries. You mentioned in your words that Smotrich declared that Gaza is a part of the Israeli land. He didn't declare that only. He said that the next step is Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, but also he mentioned Egypt. So the project of this government is to expand the Zionist project in all the Arab countries, either by force or by other ways. This is the real picture. This is why I personally consider the Palestinian rejection to the Israelis' plan to annex the West Bank, or to implement ethnic cleansing in the Gaza Strip, as a part of defending all the Arab countries, because the major project of the Netanyahu master plan government is to expand the original Zionist project over all the neighboring countries, mainly Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, without to exclude other countries.
Mr. Nassif, now, in light of the rhetoric that we have been hearing over the past few days, specifically when we're talking about far-right Israeli officials talking about annexing Gaza or settling in Gaza, now, there has been also statements that are regarding the ethnic cleansing and referring to what happened in 1948 in the Nakba, and perhaps the international community's response to such rhetoric is a little bit different right now. What do you think of the response towards such rhetoric? Now, we've seen the response towards the genocide, as you've mentioned, and as Mr. Zaqoud mentioned in his statement. Now, genocide is a war crime, and ethnic cleansing is another war crime. What do you think the international community's response should be, and how do you assess it until now?
I believe is that ethnic cleansing is a genocide, another war crime, which is the first one is the genocide. But I don't believe that the international community will push on the Israeli government so hard so far, because they are now focusing in more for the next step of the escalation of the war, which is Tehran, which is, as my colleague mentioned, the misleading from Netanyahu for the international law, for the international community. Because of that, the international community will not respond. I don't believe they will respond on that, so far, because already the genocide happened during the last year without any kind of punishment or any kind of push on the Israeli government to stop this genocide, and they will continue to help the Israeli government and Netanyahu until they feel that he cannot, or the Israeli cannot succeed in this war, even on the Palestinian or in the region, because the focus or the target for him is also to attack another countries. The international community, as a UN agencies, they believe in international law and they have their decision, but in political international coalition, which is that's the bent of the government itself, they are not willing to have this political stand against the Israel. Keep supporting him in military and in diplomacy and financially to finish his plan as an alliance or cooperate with the Israelis. Most of the international or the Western media, the Western countries, they believe they are cooperate or they are a partner of the Israelis, and they are not willing to push or to stand against the Israeli plan. The other way, they push and they have a stand against the other countries or the other movement that they are fighting Israel or they are standing against Israel in the region. And because of that, for my opinion, for the future, I'm not optimistic that there is an real push against Israeli government or against Netanyahu to stop this genocide, to stop this ethnic cleansing, to stop this war until they suffer or until the Israelis they suffer, and to ask for the international to stop that. Netanyahu as a person, as I believe, he's a man of an open-ending files of cases. That's his strategy in his political life
right.
during the last 10 years, and because of that, he is not going to finish or to close any political case. Gaza is one example, and now it's start with Lebanon. West Bank and negotiation is a past example in the last 18 years, and from there he's willing to open that file, to leave it without any clause, without any political situation, and to give it to the international community or to the Western country to find solution for that.
Okay, before we continue our discussion, let's take a look at Gaza and the history of settlements. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now we have joining us from Ramallah Khaled Nasif, a political analyst specialized in management and strategic planning, and Jamal Zakoud, the director of the Earth Center for Research and Studies. We've been talking about the implication of potential resettlement in Gaza, as we have seen from the rhetoric from many far-right Israeli officials within the past few days. Now, let me go to Mr. Zakoud now. We have been seeing the plans, probably, for the strategic plans, not just on the political side, but on the economic and security side. If we can talk about the potential impact of such a resettlement. Now, we've seen through the past report that there has been settlements in Gaza, and these settlements they ended in 2005. What kind of impact would the resettlement in Gaza happen or implement, especially with the tensions high, not just in Gaza, but also in the whole region?
Yeah, as I said, the plan in the Gaza Strip as well in the West Bank, it's linked. No need for a lot of analysis. To implement the settlement project in Gaza, they should displace the Palestinian people, because they realize that as they're Palestinian, either a small group of people, they will resist the occupation and the settlement. So the master plan of the Israeli government, headed by Netanyahu, as the mastermind of all what is going to shifting in the far right in Israel, I consider both Smotrich and Ben Gvir as small boys for Netanyahu himself.
But do you think the potential impact would be a consolidation of power in the region for the far-right Israeli government right now?
No, I don't know. The issue is clear what they want to do. This is Netanyahu is completing the war, talking about building a new settlement. He is doing a clear plan of displacement of the people, ethnic cleansing of the Gazians, starting from the north, but he will not end in the north. He will continue to the south, and this is a real threat to Egypt. So we should stop talking about to analyze what Netanyahu wants. It's clear, obvious, declared.
All right.
The issue is what we should do to prevent him to succeed in implementing his plan. On the Palestinian level, I personally haven't any answer why the Palestinian leadership based in Ramallah till today hesitated to implement what was signed and agreed in Beijing, which speaks about Palestinian unity and decision-making in the national political issues, and also to have non-factional government to give hope to the Palestinians, both in the Gaza Strip mainly, but also in the West Bank, that there is a national body who will take care after the war will be ended to rebuild the resources of life, including the housing, the water networks, the hospitals, the schools, the roads, etc. To rebuild all the life, because what's going on in the Gaza Strip, it is totally destroying all resources of life. There, in the Arab level, Israel is not seeing any strong reaction. In contrary, now the pressure start to be on the other side, on the Palestinian side. We are taking from the necessity of non-factional national government to a committee who will administrate and how will administrate Gaza without to take care about the necessity of the unity. Netanyahu's main goal is to prevent Palestinians to exercise their right and self-determination, to prevent them to have a state of their own. And this to be implemented, he needs to expel all the Gazians, but not only the Gazians, by annexing the West Bank lands. Also, he has already prepared plans to expel many
Right.
of the Palestinians, if not all of them, in the West
All
Bank.
right.
This is the clear vision of what Netanyahu wants. In the other side, we the Palestinian and the Arab countries, we doing nothing to to challenge this plan, except to account the number of casualties in the Gaza Strip, or to describe what's going in the north, or to appeal the world to
Right.
pass the
Well,
humanitarian aid or medical aid. This should be
right.
changed
We have been shedding
radically.
light on the many diplomatic and political efforts to mitigate and mediate and facilitate a peace plan and negotiations from many states. Now, thank you very much. That was Jamal Zakoud, the director of the Earth Center for Research and Studies. And thanks also to Khalid Nasif, a political analyst specialized in management and strategic planning. Thank you for joining us from Ramallah. Complex interplay of Israeli strategies, international reactions and humanitarian concerns remain critical. And as we consider the responses from all Palestinian factions and the broader implications for regional stability, there are many states, including Egypt, have been playing important roles to bring people to negotiations and facilitate. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Think Tank. Stay tuned for more. I'm Karim Hatem. Thank you for watching.